The Apostle Paul writes in 2 Corinthians 5:20 in the New Living Translation, he says, "So we are Christ's ambassadors, and God is making his appeal through us. We speak for Christ when we plead, 'Come back to God.'" You know, being an international church, Union Church of Manila has had many embassy employees, diplomats, and even ambassadors attend throughout its many years. Generally, these employees don't see themselves as being permanent residents, but only here for a temporary stint that they have to stay and work in this country. And their central purpose for being here in this foreign land is for them to represent the interests of their own nation, their home nation, their nation's financial and political and social interests, while they're on their temporary assignment away from their home nation. Well, I think that this is why the Apostle Paul uses the ambassador metaphor in relationship to the Christian life. We too have been mobilized into this world to represent not our nation of birth, but where our real citizenship lies. Our citizenship in heaven. You see, we are sent to represent the kingdom of God. And while we're here on our temporary assignment, we need to consider how to faithfully labor to advance kingdom interests, kingdom priorities, kingdom values in the places where we have been assigned to labor. Jesus reminds us of this role that we as believers play in some of the opening words of his ministry when he was teaching his disciples to pray. In Matthew chapter 5, in the Lord's Prayer, he teaches us to pray, "Your kingdom come and your will be done." And what he is saying is that we should be praying about being people who live ambassador type of lives, who indeed advance not our own wills, not our own agendas, not our own plans, but the agenda and the purposes of the kingdom. We represent the interests of God's kingdom. And I wonder how often we really see ourselves as ambassadors who are living with kingdom purposes in mind, kingdom agendas and kingdom priorities. At UCM, we see diplomats all the time who come from different countries to serve in the Philippines. But we should also see each other as diplomats who have been sent for an even greater purpose. You and I are all diplomats, we're all ambassadors, and we should encourage each other to live as faithful ambassadors of Christ, to represent the agenda of the kingdom of God.